carbs in these bowls are from quick digesting carbs. So from bananas, honey, granola, etc.
And this is why I look the way I do at nearly 40 this year.
Now, I know she mentioned that she's raw until noon for some reason.
Like, what is with this woman? Hey free woman, welcome back to the Freelee channel. As I always say, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that now. Click the bell icon so you get my videos sent to your inbox, or else you probably won't get them. So today's video is a response to our old mate, Abbey Not So Sharp. So Abbey markets herself as a dietitian, even though she's never actually worked in a hospital with actual patients as a dietitian. Unlike Laurie Stevens, a plant-based dietitian. And today's video is a response to Dietitian Reviews model Natalia Taylor, What I Eat in a Day, and quite a few of you have requested this video. And if you want to see more of these videos and me responding to Abbey Sharp, then definitely vote on this video, whether it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down. You can give it a thumbs down, that's up to you, boo. So in this video, I'm going to focus on responding to Abbey, not Natalia, because it is going to become way too confusing. So I noticed someone commented the other day that I'm copying Abbey Sharp's videos, her response videos, even though I started doing these video responses over 6 years ago, and Abbey has clearly copied my format, which is quite flattering. By the way, you can cross-check anything that I say in these videos because I've done my research. I've studied human physiology and nutrition since my teens, and I'm 40 this year. So I've been at this for a long time. I've studied at 2 institutions for nutrition, but it's based on government recommendations, the same sort of education that Abbey Sharp had. And it's just largely inaccurate because it's so heavily industry funded. So keep that in mind.
Okay, so just a quick disclaimer, as I'm sure a lot of you are, I'm sick of people lying about fruit and crapping on it. No, I'm not against grains. No, I'm not suggesting you only eat fruit all day, every day, although it's likely far healthier than your current diet. This video is about clearing the false charges against fruit made by Abbey. And of course it's good that Abbey made plant-based suggestions. However, that's not because she wanted to, that's because she has to, as Natalia is vegan, and vegans would obviously call her out if she didn't. And as I showed in previous Abbey videos, Abbey is using veganism for money. So she is just using Natalia to grow her reach and her business. That's it. Make no mistake, Abbey will be eating innocent animals till it's illegal.
So first thing in the morning at 7 a.m. when I wake up, yes, I do wake up that early. So first thing, we go for a glass of water because it's important for jump-starting your metabolism. So bright and early first thing in the morning, this is the first thing I'm gonna grab.
I love that she said 7 a.m. is really super early. Girl, I have not slept into 7 a.m. in over 2 years.
Is it like a competition or something? Look, I haven't slept until 7 either. I generally get up around 5 a.m. But Natalia might have a bit of a different routine. Obviously, she might be up later.
But right off the bat, let's make something super, super clear. While hydration is definitely key and also a great habit to have first thing in the morning, a glass of water does not kickstart your metabolism.
I do agree with Abbey on this one. Can you believe it? I actually agree. Water does not kickstart your metabolism. Your metabolism is basically the process of converting food to energy for fuel. So no, water is not going to do that for you. But water is amazing. First thing in the morning, I always highly recommend it. 500 mils to a liter of water is what I have most mornings. So it is a good start to the day. Good job, Natalia.
So for my breakfast, I will prepare myself a raw fruit and veg plate. And that includes various fruits like strawberries and blueberries. Also, grapes are one of my...
Can you see Abbey getting all uncomfortable there? She's getting a little bit of itchy twitchy. You can see it. You know, it's like as soon as she hears fruits raw, she's like, Freelee. She just gets twitchy. She's just like, fruit. She has a real problem with fruit and me.
My favorites, always purchase organic if you can, and avocado. Avocados are truly my go-to when it comes to eating purely raw foods in the morning. I like having a full avocado in the morning because it helps me get in fat, which we shouldn't be afraid of fat in my opinion, as long as it's good fat. So we have our avocado right here. Something that I really like to do is take some clover sprouts, just put them inside the little avocado.
I don't know if that's really a thing for me. I don't know. The sprouts and the avocado, not a lot of flavor there.
Breakfast. Now the perks of eating raw veg in the morning. Number one, you are completely detoxing your body. Number two, you don't have to worry about if you're eating too much because
Abby did the head roll then. Did you notice the head roll when she said it's like detoxing your body? Okay.
because honestly, you can never get enough fruits and veggies in your diet.
That
So
is
here is my fruit and avocado breakfast plate.
Ooh, things have taken a turn. Where do I even start? First of all, it really bothers me that she didn't wash those fruit. That's for sure.
Okay, hang on. How do you even know that she washed them or not? You know, she's just obviously displaying it for people, saying, hey, this is what I eat. Like,
You know, I love the colors in this breakfast, and it's no doubt nutritious. It's
okay, just remember that. I love the colors in this breakfast, and it's no doubt nutritious.
definitely not super balanced. Avocados.
If any of you have ever watched Abbey Sharp video, you would have heard the balance term a lot. She throws it around as this buzzword, you know, in the diet industry, balanced. And it essentially means nothing. It really doesn't. Because she doesn't explain what she means by balanced. I want to see percentages of carbs, percentage of fat, percentage of protein, if she wants to use this balanced term, okay? Especially when you're talking about fruits, which are amazing whole foods that are inherently complete. That's just how they are. They have the protein, the fat, the carbohydrates, micronutrients, vitamins, minerals. They are a whole powerhouse of nutrition. It's not a problem with fruits, okay? They need to be seen as a complete meal. They can become a complete meal, and they should if we want to be truly healthy. So yeah, this whole balance thing.
Avocados are great, and fruit is also great.
Abby, just gotta let you know that avocado is actually a fruit.
These fruits are really high in fat and sugar, respectfully. Good fats and good sugars, yes, but I would really like to see some more protein.
Of course, you want to see more protein because that's your answer to everything. So she says that it is super healthy, but it's high in fat and sugar, and good fat's good, and fruit sugar is good, but it's too high. It's like she just keeps contradicting herself. She said it was a healthy breakfast, and now she's saying, no, it needs more to it. It's unbalanced. It's not really healthy. So when Abby says it's high in sugar, it's like, yes, we want the sugar. That's great. But when it comes to proteins, for instance, amino acids have to be converted into simple sugars before the body can use them as fuel through gluconeogenesis. So it's not this, it's not giving you this instant fuel that you really, really need. So like simple sugars and high sugar is great. It's kind of like saying to a cow, grass is healthy for you, but it's too high in fiber. It's too high in fiber. So don't eat too much. You got to be careful. You can see how crazy that sounds.
Now, I know she mentioned that she's raw until noon for some reason.
Like, what is with this woman? Why is she all like bitchy about the raw till noon? We know why. Because it reminds her of me. And she just hates any thought of that. She thinks a lot of fruit is bad for you or something. Like, this is where I think it's really, really crazy. The number one dietary risk factor for death in the USA and around the world. Nearly 5 million people are dying around the world per year because they're not eating enough fruit. And then you have this health professional telling you to eat less fruit, to restrict your fruit. And she's also restricting her baby's fruit intake. This is not healthy. I think this makes sense to you, right? And I actually punched in the numbers into Cronometer. I put in Natalia's breakfast in the Cronometer, and this is what it comes out with. So you've got Abby saying, it's incomplete. This isn't unbalanced. She needs to add protein. She needs to do this and that and whole grains. It's not true. No, she doesn't. Because if we have a look at the breakdown here, this breakfast is actually full of fiber, full of vitamin C, tryptophan, iron, potassium, zinc. It's full of B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, folate, copper. Look at all the minerals. Look at all the minerals. The carbs, the lipids, the protein. Look at the amino acids. Like, she's covering all the amino acids. She might not be getting enough for the whole entire day, which you wouldn't expect in one meal, but she's covering them here. You can see that because fruit should be seen as a meal. You know, we need to start eating enough of it so we see it as a meal, and it is completely healthy to do so, to eat a volume of it that leaves you satiated. But if you undereat, of course, you are not going to get enough satiation, and it's only around 450 calories, and Natalia ate, so it's not enough calories.
To my favorite nutritional buzzword of all time, detox. I've said this time and time again, but apparently it's worth repeating. Foods do not detox your body. Your body detoxes your body. Your liver, kidneys, skin, lungs, they all work all day, air day, to detox your body.
Okay, she's really spicy on this one. But look, I agree. Specific foods don't detox your body, okay? Your body does detox your body. However, but, there is a big but here. You know, like, the way she's coming across, the way Abby's putting this across is like, basically, you can eat whatever the fuck you want. You can eat whatever you want, and your body's just gonna detox it. You know, you're gonna be fine. And it makes people complacent about their diet. What she should be telling people is what you are eating does create certain levels of toxic load and does strain your organs of elimination. You can absolutely overload your organs of elimination with this toxic load to do with like animal products, for instance, and the organs become overworked to the point of sometimes failure and disease. Okay, so you want to lighten the load. You want to lighten the toxic load, and fruit is obviously perfect for that. It is the most perfect food on the planet for humans when it comes to toxicity, because it leaves such little toxic byproduct. But the foods that she is often recommending, animal products, leave a lot of toxic load in the system and really overwork those organs. So she should have said something about that, but she doesn't want to because she doesn't understand.
While, of course, fruits contain a rich amount of antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and fiber, and they're amazing for our health.
Okay, so she says it like amazing for your health now. Fruits are amazing, they're this and that, but don't eat too much. It doesn't make sense, okay? If a food is healthy for you, it's amazing for your health, it's full of antioxidants, then there's no cap on it. You don't have to restrict that. You have to eat more of that in your diet. So she's contradicting and confusing her audience.
Don't magically get rid of toxins in our body. Let's take a look at what she's eating.
But remember, when you're eating a lot of fruit, your body becomes healthier and it functions better. This is absolutely vital when it comes to detox.
And this also does contain granola, which I know is not fully raw vegan, but these are one of my go-tos when it comes to convenient, easy breakfast.
They are super pretty and a great option when you're on the go. Sometimes these bowls, however, can be pretty big and they don't really contain much protein to keep
Protein.
satiated. I'd actually say that this
Okay, so she said that they don't contain a lot of protein to leave you satiated. Protein is not the macro that is going to leave you satiated. There's a lot more in that. There's a lot more factors that lead to your satiation. I've spoken about it before. Fiber distending the stomach wall is very important, and the small intestine. That's super important. Also, the carbohydrate content of the food, because that is our fuel. This is very important. But the protein association is not actually grounded in sound science. I'm going to put a whole lot of links to protein not actually being a satiating macro or high protein.
Particular one from Jamba Juice looks like a perfect portion size, and according to the nutrition facts on Jamba Juice's website, this acai bowl has a little bit of fat and a little bit of protein, but is still mainly carbohydrates. Over 100 grams of carbs.
Good. It's not a bad thing. 100 grams of carbs is like excellent. I recommend 10 grams of carbohydrates per kilo of body weight. Okay, so for me, that would be about 530 grams of carbohydrates over the course of a day. This is great. And this is why I look the way I do at nearly 40 this year. Lean, trim, fit. My weight has stayed the same for the past decade. I'm not addicted to caffeine. Like our friend here, Abbey Sharp, I don't have any weight fluctuations. I have excellent energy levels. You know, like, you gotta see the proof is in the banana pudding. High carbohydrate, lots of carbs is like, yes, that's what you want. You want the fruit carbohydrates. And the fact that she's like portion sizes, you know, it's like ED talking, oh, you want to have smaller portions? No, you don't. You want bigger portions of fruits and veggies.
To be exact. Now, I want to flag that I am not against carbs, but
No, I don't believe that. I do not believe that for 1 second. Her website is full of keto recipes. She's always questioning the carbohydrate content. Always, always, always. She's restricting her baby's fruit intake. This woman has a problem with carbohydrates. She doesn't understand that the body is actually really needing carbohydrates. She just kind of thinks, you know, they're going to make you fat, they're going to spike your blood sugar and stuff like that, which is very misguided, especially when it comes to whole foods like fruits.
A lot of the carbs in these bowls are from quick digesting carbs. So from bananas, honey, granola, etc. I would way rather see some more veggies, maybe some high fiber whole grains, plus some...
Hang on, high fiber whole grains. High fiber whole grains, granola, it already has granola in it. This is pretty confusing, and this is because she's confused herself and she's just confusing her audience further. She's like, she wants to see some high, like there's already oats in it. There's already that. You know, but saying that these are quick digesting carbs, you know, she's trying to make out that they're kind of, it's bad for your blood sugar.
Okay, so Abby obviously doesn't understand the absolute basics of blood glucose here. She is saying to add more slow digesting carbs, even though the bowl already has slow digesting carbs, like strawberries being 40 on the glycemic index scale and bananas being 51. Conversely, if we look at the glycemic index of the foods that Abby is recommending, they are generally higher on the GI than the respective fruits. So for example, the GI of whole grain bread is 74 and brown rice is 68. Verse 40, the strawberries and the bananas being 51. So when we are talking glycemic index, it means the speed at which the glucose enters your bloodstream. So theoretically, whole grains like brown rice raise your blood sugar faster than bananas. So Abby, no, the bowl is already packed with slower digesting carbs.
There's no spiking going on here. You know, so it's not this quick digesting carbs. You just eat more so you have more volume and you're more satiated.
So now it's 10:30 and you know what that means. It's snack time. One of my go-tos for a snack is watermelon. I get these little miniature watermelon halves at Whole Foods and they're a really easy, fast snack.
Love me some watermelon, not only because it is super delicious and juicy, but it's also a really good, easy snack. And while watermelon is basically just sugar and water.
Okay, no. I want to give watermelon some love here, okay? Because it is not just sugar and water.
I usually try to recommend a snack that has a combination of fat, protein, and high fiber carbs.
But that's the thing. That's exactly what watermelon has. The fat, the protein, the high fiber carbs. So, you know, that's not making sense again from Abbey Sharp. And no, okay, it is not, watermelon is not just sugar and water. Like, no, it's actually a very complex food, okay? It might be high in water, yes, but it's also full of goodness. Watermelon is pretty fucking amazing, honestly. It is a rich source of carotenoids, which are good for cardiovascular disease and cancer, for protecting yourself. It's also good for your blood pressure because it contains the amino acid L-citrulline. Okay, and a lot of people don't know that it's actually the richest source of L-citrulline out of any food. And you know what? It's really, really good for erectile dysfunction. So ladies, if your partner, if his banana is a bit soft and it's just not getting enough, then get him on the watermelon. Honestly, this is like a pro tip. You have to eat enough. That is the thing. You gotta eat enough. And let's just have a look in Cronometer. So I poured watermelon into Cronometer and look what came back here. Tryptophan, zinc, potassium, iron, fiber, vitamin C, B1, B2, B3, B5, B6. You know, just look at this. Look at this profile, full of minerals, carbohydrates. It's got some lipids. It's got some fats in there. And look at this, covering all the essential amino acids. Abby's talking about protein and everything, but watermelon has protein. It has amino acids. So yes, it is a balance. It is complete food. It is a great snack to have. Just eat enough.
Snack that has a combination of fat, protein, and high fiber carbs. This not only prevents huge sugar spikes, but makes the snack more satiating.
Fruit Fruit meals are actually like the most satiating meals that you can have if you eat enough because of the fiber content, because of the natural fructose and the glucose. So again, and the water content. And here we come back to the blood sugar spikes. This is not true. Oh my God, she hasn't even learned about glycemic load.
So let's look at her half a mini watermelon snack from Whole Foods. Glycemic load matters here. Natalia ate about 500 grams of watermelon flesh, which is around 150 calories. And the glycemic load of that meal is actually low. It's not going to spike your blood sugar. No, fruit does that because it is a water and fiber-filled whole food. Fruit also contains a large amount of fructose, which does not require insulin in order to enter our cells. For example, the 500 grams of watermelon that Natalia ate has the same glycemic load as 98 grams or 247 calories of whole grain, whole wheat bread and 163 grams of brown rice, 200 calories. So the point is the overall blood sugar increase with the watermelon is low. And you get to eat more of the watermelon for less calories and greater satiation because of the fiber, water, and natural fructose content. The irony here is that eating a high-fat diet like Abby does can actually cause huge blood sugar spikes, like she likes to call it, due to the extra fat sludging up the bloodstream and impacting the hormone insulin's ability to escort the glucose from the blood into the cell. There's over 450 million diabetics in the world, while at the same time, the number one dietary risk factor for death is not eating enough fruit. So obviously, fruit has nothing to do with it. And that's why the Diabetes Association encourages people to eat fruit because it doesn't spike blood sugar. In an upcoming video, I will use a glucose meter to demonstrate that fruit does not spike your blood sugar levels after eating. Sure, it will raise your blood sugar levels, which is of course the whole point of eating. Even unnatural freegan, flexitarian, the fake vegan, agrees with me. As you see with this video she posted years ago before she cowardly deleted it. We see her showing proof here that fruit doesn't spike blood sugar levels. You gotta hide that one, don't you?
Honestly, she's already had a lot of fruit for breakfast, so this seems a bit like overkill.
What?
Another reason why...
This is terrible that a health professional is saying it's an overkill to have a lot of fruit in your diet. Like I said before, people are dying because they're not having enough fruit, and there's this dietitian telling you and kind of shaming people like, this is an overkill. You've had too much fruit, too much carbs. No, Abby.
I just do not understand this whole raw till noon situation.
Yeah, we know you don't understand because you're not educated. You're not educated in the absolute basics. You did a course 7 years ago.
A really easy meal that you can make at home is my favorite fruit salad. And there you go, that is something that I would normally make at home for lunch. And
I have to comment, that's not much food at all. Natalia and I follow each other on Instagram. We've spoken on Instagram. She watches me. She's been following me for a long time. Natalia, you're not eating enough. Girlfriend, what are you doing? Okay, you have to get more fruit in, okay? Or else you're gonna get more of the crap later on. Fill up on the good stuff so you don't eat the crap later on that's going to make you fat, sick and unhealthy. She's not eating enough of the good stuff at this point.
But either way, a really easy recipe.
God, come on, girl. That is all. Have we not had enough fruit? I love that she says to wash your hands, but then doesn't wash the fruit again. But
oh my God, get over the whole doesn't wash the fruit. Why is she even commenting on this? And she looked a little bit all over the place when she's more fruit. Just she's almost scared of fruit. It's disturbing. And it's reflected in the fact that she is actually restricting her baby's fruit intake, who instinctively wants to eat more fruit. And she's like, no, you cannot eat more fruit. She takes it away from her baby, which is ridiculous.
Honestly here, my body is begging for a little protein. So
no, it's not. You're not begging for protein. It's just your conditioning thinking you gotta have higher protein foods when there's actually protein in the fruit meals and there's adequate amounts of protein, which is easily shown by just using Chronometer, It's crazy.
Cheese, healthy fats, tofu, nuts, seeds, something more to bulk this up a little. I get she's got a little sprinkling, which she says is unconventional. But
I agree that she needs more calories in there, but she doesn't have to have more she doesn't have to have tofu, whole grains, whatever. She doesn't have to have anything like that, okay? She just eats more fruit. Bulk it out with more fruit. That's what I do every day. That's why I'm getting excellent results 13 years later on a high fruit lifestyle.
Really, I'd like to see more. I would also love to see her replace some of these higher glycemic index fruits on her salad with some slower burning carbs like sweet potato or quinoa.
Okay. Let me just pick her up on this one. Here she goes again with this high GI, making people think that fruit spikes your blood sugar levels when it doesn't. It doesn't do this rapid raise of your blood sugar. It just doesn't do that. The sugars in fruit raises your blood sugar gradually. And she said there's sweet potatoes, which I'm a big fan of. I love my sweet potatoes.
So Abby said she wanted to see sweet potato in here. I love sweet potato, but I don't like the inaccuracy, okay, instead of some of the higher glycemic fruits. But then you look at the glycemic index of sweet potato and it's actually moderate at 63 on the GI. And then you have a look at raisins or sultanas at 55 GI, low to moderate, and strawberries at 41 are low. So as you can see, the fruit is actually lower than the sweet potatoes. So yeah, just more fruit-fearing propaganda bullshit from Abby, not so sharp.
I really like eating Chipotle because I know that they...
So this is predictable to me because, she hasn't eaten enough during the day. So now she's going to the higher fat, the more processed food. So because she didn't eat enough fruit.
They have really awesome ingredients, and honestly, they have great guacamole. So let's go through what I would normally order at Chipotle. So for rice, it is always better to get the brown
This is too long. It's too long.
line.
Okay, so let's talk about Chipotle because I think it's a great option when you're looking for, something a little lighter. And I really like this meal, much more so than anything else I've seen.
Oh, of course. She likes it because she doesn't like fruit.
Because we've got the protein from the beans, we've got some fiber in the brown.
There's protein in the fruits. There's plenty of fiber in the fruits.
Rice, we've got some healthy fats in that guacamole.
There's healthy fats in the fruits.
Guacamole and some veggies in there as well. A lot of fast food places are high in sodium. So
look, I'm going to leave it there because this is going to be an extremely long video otherwise. What happens is when I'm chewing on the banana, some of the sugar is instantly going under my tongue, some of the glucose and the fructose. And something you need to understand about fructose is it doesn't require any insulin to be escorted from the bloodstream into the cell. It just goes into the cell. It doesn't require any extra insulin to be released like glucose does. And the pancreas actually has taste receptors for fructose. So it can tell when there's fructose and it doesn't need to release insulin to help escort the sugar into the cell. This is very important. So it's not going to cause you any insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes or anything like that. And that's why the Diabetes Association says fruit is fine to eat because it doesn't spike your blood sugar. And I also recommend if you're having a raw diet that you also have some greens, you have some nuts and seeds, and it's just going to be one of the healthiest ways you can eat. Full stop. So the take home is eat more. Natalia, you need to eat more fruit. And then she's ending up eating these other foods that are not optimal. And Abbey Sharp actually does that herself. And you can see in this photo, she's having a lobster. Arrived in Florida and went straight for this bad boy. She puts it on her Instagram. She's eating these poor animals. And look at this. On Fridays, we eat pizza. She's eating a whole lot of junk. Caramel ice cream. Isn't that high in sugar, Abby? Like, seriously. Donuts. She's constantly posting these photos because she went on a diet as of January 2020 and now a calorie restrictive diet, carb restrictive diet, and then she just ends up binging out on junk food. That's what she's doing. Just pure junk food. And she's saying to restrict your fruit intake. Don't eat too much fruit. But that's what happens when people don't eat too much fruit. They end up eating like Abbey Sharp and packing in the junk food. She even says in this interview here, unfortunately, what we often end up seeing in the wellness YouTuber space is over the top, not very practical, Instagrammable clean eating meals juxtaposed against sensationalized cheat meals, days with donuts, pizza, tacos, and supersized portions. Well, Abby, that sounds a little bit familiar, doesn't it? That looks like how you actually eat. This is how Abby eats. And she's like pointing her finger at others doing what I eat in a day video saying, oh, they're doing all this clean eating, then they're binging out. But Abby, you're doing that yourself. Fruit is perfect for your blood sugar levels. It's not going to spike your blood sugar. Fruit is not the culprit here. It's like a victim, you know, fruit is a victim of uneducated people like Abbey Sharp. Okay, so that's my video for today. Leave a comment down below of who you want me to do a video on next, and I'll see you soon.